Ready? I can go ahead and do the countdown. Second. All right, I'm about to do the countdown so we can start. In five, four, three, two, one. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Thirsty Topics. Hi, Wander.
Hey Lawrence, how are you, my friend?
I am doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm fighting the power. Fight the power that be. I'm telling you, man. You don't look like what you're going through, I tell you.
I
Yes,
hear
sir.
you. Did you have a good holiday weekend?
Had a great holiday weekend. We hung out with friends. Left before all the excitement and everything because the night kind of rained or whatever. But we had the
Mhm.
canopies and all. They had a good time. Just kind of getting away from the regular norm. So it was just kind of nice having hang out with friends. What about you?
Actually, we cooked here at the house. Basically, just sat back, relaxed. I know we're going to be going to the Taste of Chicago this weekend, so we're looking forward to that.
Okay, yeah, the food looks great.
Yes, yes, they have almost 60 vendors between restaurants and food trucks, so a lot
Okay,
to choose from.
all right, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, just bringing some type of normalcy back. I think that's really important and really key. Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree. I agree. Well, I'm going to start off with a topic that's kind of troubling, but we definitely need to talk about it. It's the death of Nolan Xavier Wells. So, the family of Nolan Xavier Wells, the 18-year-old Ocean Springs student athlete that was found dead on Horn Island this week, has retained nationally renowned civil rights and personal injury attorney Ben Crump. The family is calling for a thorough, transparent investigation into how Nolan died. Just to kind of bring everybody up to speed, in case you haven't heard about this story, Nolan is an African American young male. He traveled by boat to Horn Island with a group of friends on Saturday, July 4th, to celebrate the holiday. He was last seen on the island around 3 p.m. and did not return with the group, according to Jackson County Sheriff's Department. On the morning of Monday, July 6th, a U.S. park ranger found a body at the northwestern tip of the islands, and Nolan's family confirmed his death later that day. An autopsy was scheduled for this past Tuesday. Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter has said that the investigation remains active and the cause of Nolan's death has not been determined. Nolan played football at Ocean Springs High School and was a wide receiver at Southwest Mississippi Community College, where he was set to return for the upcoming season. He would have turned 19 next month.
Wow.
It's it's sad that we still have these stories. There's a lot to unpack. I don't want to make any assumptions, obviously, but the fact is he was the only African American on the boat. All his other friends are white. It is a remote type of place that they went to. Some people allege that they saw Nolan arguing with some of his friends on the boat. So I don't want to speculate, but there's a lot of troubling things here in this story. What do you think, Wanda?
Wow. This is not really a discussion about assuming, or spreading rumors. It's about a family wanting to get down to the real reason of what happened to their loved one. This was uncertain. So I can't even imagine sending my child somewhere or a loved one somewhere and supposedly hanging out with friends and they don't come back. Everybody else comes back with them. And again, we talk about the temperature and the atmosphere that we're living in. And you can't, especially as an African American. So we're talking, we both have African American children, relatives. And so to have one of our children to not come back from a trip, you got some explaining to do. Somebody knows something. How many people were on the boat? And you mentioned about the autopsy. What did the autopsy say? Or they're waiting for the results?
They're waiting for the result. They literally just had it a couple of days ago.
So I mean, what's some of the other circumstances around this? Was he thrown overboard? Was he found in water? Was he on the boat? Maybe some type of reaction. Was he beaten up? If someone saw him. So what are some of the
They haven't
circumstances?
released the details of that yet. So it will be very interesting to see what happened. But here's a few things. When they returned back with Nolan, they said Nolan decided to stay. That doesn't make any sense. And then they come back with a cell phone. Anyone who has children know that a cell phone to a child or a
It's
young
a
adult
lifeline.
is like cutting off their arm or their leg. They don't
Yeah.
leave their phones anymore.
No.
Okay. And if they do leave their phone, they grab it right away. I mean, that's how dependent they are to that phone. And then allegedly, there was some text messages that was deleted on his phone. Now, again, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but allegedly, these are some of the things that are floating around out there. And as you start listening to this stuff, you kind of wonder, is there another side of the story that we're not being told about?
Oh,
And we've seen
absolutely it
this,
is.
we've seen this story before.
Yeah.
And you can't help but to wonder, is there something bigger going on that we don't know about?
Oh, no doubt. Because even when it just reminds you even of the allegations that are coming out about what was the Anthony oh God, the young man that was supposed to have stabbed the other young man,
Oh,
group of white kids, he was with them. And so some suspiciously happened to him. And there's other cases out there that we haven't talked about either. So no, somebody got some explaining to do because, as you said, with that cell phone, the deleted text message, but what they don't realize is there's a digital footprint. You can delete all you want, but as the investigation, a complete investigation goes and an honest communication, they're going to find out that something was not right with that. That is sad. It's really a sad occasion, and the accountabilities. What if it was a mistake? We don't even know. I don't know. That's just a hard pill to swallow because you can't keep saying, just like I saw a thing, we'll talk about that later on, about the ICE agents. Same thing going on again. And you're using the same excuse. Oh, they tried to run me over. You can't keep crapping on the side of the road and blaming the dog. Something smells, something just is not right. And I definitely pray that justice come out of this. Because people are not going to just keep sitting back, letting this stuff happen. The temperature is rising in
yeah.
America. It's rising.
And a couple of other notable things is, as of this today, me talking about this, two of the other kids, their parents retain lawyers. Now,
Come
again, we
on.
don't want to speculate, but why are you running to get lawyers? And just, I mean,
Because
you,
they
you see,
know something. They
you see
know
the
something.
okay. You know what? I mean, to me, if y'all supposed to be great friends, you should be there consoling the parents, trying to, figure out what the heck happened, whatever. But your thing is to get an attorney. And again, it doesn't mean that people are guilty, but it does raise eyebrows.
You're guilty by association because if you're hanging out, and that's why it's imperative that we talk to our children about the people they're hanging out with. My grandson's 17. He's, coming of age, wants to be grown on the one hand, and then you're still a kid on the other hand. You have to be careful. One of my girlfriends way back in the day, was braiding my hair, I remember. And her son was upstairs in the building playing with another kid. All of a sudden, the gun goes off. Her son is dead. So we have to be very mindful of and be aware and make sure you're talking to your children. Who are your friends? And trust and believe the kids that got those attorneys, they've gotten their stories together. They're talking about it. So somebody knows that something's not right in order to get an attorney. And I understand they were saying that the investigators are reviewing witness statements, available videos, the timeline of the events, and the authorities have said currently have no evidence of foul play. But he's dead. He left to go have a good time. If he had a heart attack or something, something nefarious is going on for certain, it seems. Because if it was a medical emergency or anything, nothing to hide. If there was nothing to hide, come on. So, something ain't right with that picture.
Well, we'll keep an eye on this. I'm quite sure there's going to be more to this story, probably within the next few days or even a couple of weeks. So
I was gonna say because transparency covers everybody, right? If you're transparent, you're not hiding anything. Yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm on my soapbox here.
oh no, I totally understand.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next topic. Wonder, what is the next topic?
Well, the next topic, though, unless you've been up under a rock, everybody's aware of this topic, which is another sensitive topic. It's about Graham Plattner, the gentleman that ran and won in June. He just won last month in June. About him bowed out. I don't know. Did you see the video, the 11-minute video?
Not the 11-minute video. I've been seeing a bunch of clips about it.
Well, he apparently was accused of rape and some other awful allegations in his. We'll read that. Democrats in Maine began jockeying Thursday to become the new candidate for the pivotal U.S. Senate seat after progressive nominee Graham Plattner announced he will withdraw from the race after sexual assault allegations. Democrat needs to pick a candidate to replace Plattner on the ballot by July 27th. According to the state law, whoever is elected will have less than 4 months before facing longtime Senator Susan Collins in the general election. Potential candidates had already been testing their interest before Plattner, who denies the allegations. So basically, we're watching this man. He was accused, but he vehemently denied any wrongdoing. It was a girlfriend at the time, someone he was seeing. It was consensual sex. She said that it was rape. We don't know either way. But he also said in this article about the timing, it's ironic that here he is kind of blowing the whistle on what's been going on in Maine, running against Susan Collins. And we know that sometimes when people want to put the blame on somebody or try to get rid of someone, either they kill them or they destroy their character. He threw out some really important points, which a lot of people, that's why they voted for him in the first place. So he voted that there are some people in Washington that does not want him to run. So of course, he gave him a stick to beat him with, so to speak. And I can't say that because then I'm saying that the lady was right. I can't say she was right or wrong. I'm not putting down someone if they have been sexually assaulted. My thing is being a woman, and I know it's hard. Sometimes I can't say why a person didn't say anything. What 5 years ago? I've heard it was 5 years ago. It was a little longer than 5 years ago. For this man to come, he wasn't a politician until he ran for office. So he was a regular person with, I guess, things in his background that can come to scrutinize him later. So to say that he did this, he vehemently denied it. We're not a judge, we're not a jury. Are you there? Are you frozen?
I'm here.
Did you
I'm right
did you
here.
get that?
I got everything.
It's saying something about my connection.
I
I
guess
can't.
the
I
way.
can at least see your lips moving.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Can you hear me? Hey,
I don't know
Wonder.
what happened.
You can't hear
I
me?
can see you. I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay, good.
I guess we have to.
You can't see me? Alrighty. So we just take a little bit of a pause. I wanted to come back in.
All right, we're gonna try this again.
Can you see and hear me now?
Yeah, I can see you. I can hear you. Good.
All right.
So as we were saying, this is such a heavy topic. Like I said, when he denied it being a rape, but called it consensual, and none of us were in the room with him. But I do understand the fact that in the video when he said that he was stepping down because it would probably not be good for the party, the Democratic Party. Now I'm watching different segments of this yesterday in breaking news, right? And I thought I was missing something when I heard the video. I didn't hear the things that some of the people, and this is a regular news station that I watch, and they were interpreting, and I heard in the roundtable discussion, somebody was kind of agreeing with me. They didn't agree with the host at the time that was making he never apologized. He opened up, he said this thing, he never apologized. But why would he apologize for something he said he didn't do? So why
Yeah.
would there be a need for an apology if he
Yeah.
said he didn't do it?
I think the most important thing is when someone claims that they've been assaulted, you have to listen to them and you have to
Sure.
look into it, regardless of who they are.
Yeah, yeah, of course, yes.
And I know that there's some people that are saying, in fact, Marjorie Taylor Greene was on The View again this week.
I missed that, yeah.
Her her statement I disagree with about, if you were assaulted or something happened to you, why do you wait until a person's running for office? Why not say it then? Well, I can tell you as a person that has been sexually, verbally, and mentally abused and emotionally abused as a child, it's not easy to come out. And we're at a point right now where it's much easier for someone to say that something happened to them. Even 5 years ago is not like today. And then longer than that, because when I was growing up, I can tell you right now that my abuser, he literally bust my nose. The police was there. And because he was a deputy sheriff working at the jail, even with blood all over my jacket and all over my face, they did not arrest that bastard. So I'm telling you,
Yeah,
things have
that's
changed.
what
So
Lawrence.
that's why
That's what.
I was saying, sometimes people got to be careful because there are reasons. My mom did not find out what happened to me until I was an adult.
And I look. I'm. My whole point is I wasn't there on either side.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't, because I've also seen on the other side, because I too have been a victim of being sexually assaulted as a little girl and blah blah blah. It's in my book. Read the book. So I too have been there. So there's no way in the world that I'm putting down anybody's story of saying that somebody's lying. That's somebody's not being honest in this situation. And so when you look at both sides of it, when someone vehemently denies that, and I do know that in a situation that you don't talk about, that it's not. I have a situation right now that's similar to a situation that could be very explosive if it came out. And one person would say, "Well, why didn't you bring it up now?" So trust me, I do know that it's never a good time to maybe talk about something. And maybe this was the time. Unfortunately, it wasn't a good time for him. And when we are running for office and things of that nature, your life is going to be scrutinized. And
Mm-hmm.
if there is nothing, some people will find something on you. Remember, I was talking about the series on Billions, that series Billions, the stuff that people do when they want what they want when they want it.
Oh yeah.
And they pay the people to go out and research and find whatever. This man was running for office. So it's really unfortunate on both sides. But some of the things that he talked about with the powers that be, they are trying to take our democracy. And if
True.
we're not careful, and what you do with people like that, either you make them crazy, you kill them, you discredit them. So it's man, it's that thing in the middle, man. And my heart goes out to that young lady. That was that she say that she was a victim. If this is true, my heart goes out to her. My heart
Sure.
goes out to her.
And I think there's another side to it as well too. Is sometimes there's a situation where one person thinks one thing happened, the other person thinks another. That's a difficult thing to go back and forth. But even though it's incredibly rare, there are situations where people purposely say these things to destroy a person.
Well,
And
yeah,
I
I
think
know. I know of some people that have done that.
so because it's so difficult and so hard for a person that's been abused to come up and say something, it makes it worse when that happens. And I think that when that shows up, that person that made that false allegations should go to jail. I say they should go to prison because you're literally trying to destroy someone. It's a difference between feeling a certain way and knowing that something happened and you purposely trying to destroy someone. Those are two big different things.
Absolutely, brother. And the thing about it, you are ruining a whole lot of people's life. And this came out of the news segment that I was watching, because I was very and I was very shocked that also what was insinuated in that, supposedly allegedly in the as people, the news people were breaking down what they heard. And it was when he said something about whoever they pick should stay in Maine, and people in Washington shouldn't do that. It was alleged that these were Democrats that did that to him, or that caused this woman to come out. That's the word. Now, if this is true, because the Democrats want to put somebody in there. And that's why politics are so dirty on on all sides, when people are not right. So I'm not on one side, the Republicans, the Democrats, because to do something like this, and I could not believe, so you will hear more about this, that it was so-called Democrats that put this all out. It wasn't
Allegedly.
the Republicans. I'm
Allegedly.
telling you. Allegedly. And so I was just really shocked as I'm listening to this dialogue going back and forth. But of course, the Republicans are taking it and running with it as a campaign. But
Right.
people are dirty on all sides. We have someone in office that's been convicted of 34 crimes. He's our president.
Mhm. That's a fact.
So
That's
people, when he first got elected, people said, "Well, I'm a criminal, so if I go and fill out an application, is it still relevant for me to put down that I was in jail or that I was convicted of a crime, just a regular Joe Blow?" So and Swalwell, recently he stepped down as a senator, I think a congressman. Well, Senator, one or the other, but he just stepped down. Eric Swalwell. So he just stepped down. So it's dirty people on both, or it's people, I won't call them dirty. It's people on both sides that have been accused of these crimes. But one thing about, if it's not true, to be accused of something and it didn't happen, that's you're guilty regardless. So I hope they get to the bottom of it, because they're married women. I used to do shows on my rock show. There are married women who have allegedly said that their husbands raped them, because when they say no, it means no. So you go even to married women who have cried out about this. So it's nothing to sweep under the rug. It is certainly something to talk about, or to keep in the forefront of our conversations, So
absolutely. I really hope that the Democrats didn't do this
yeah,
behind the
because that's
scenes.
the word.
If they did, then the Democratic Party has a much bigger problem than we are aware of.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying.
So
That's and it's on national television, so it's not like it's something that I heard it today, So it's not like it's, allegedly. This is where it was leading to. So yeah.
well, talk about an interesting situation. I'm quite sure you've heard about this, Wander. But a couple was arrested after a proposal on the top of the Empire State Building. So, Angela Nicolou and Ivan Kuznetsov were arrested on Wednesday after the stunt, which featured the pair dressed in all black, unfurling a peace banner and kissing. He also got down on his knee and proposed to her. So Nicolou, 33, and Kuznetsov, a 32-year-old, also known as Ivan Burkus, are Russian nationals who share an address in New York and New Jersey. Records show they are prominent practitioners of the underground thrill-seeking activity of rooftoping, in which self-styled urban outlaw scales skyscrapers and other tall buildings to take breathtaking photos, videos, and make political statements. What do you think about this, Wander?
Man, you really don't want to know. Oh my God. In this atmosphere. Oh my God. First of all, they're already married. They were in the reporting. They are already married, so they didn't know what that deal was with him getting on his knee. That's wild. That is wild. They're already married. They're Russians. I don't even want to get in trouble. I just don't even want to get in trouble. And then to get to the top, and you put the flag out. Who was the flag for? Was that a code word? Was that a
I
code
don't know,
word for
but
somebody?
But the crazy thing about this whole thing is there are better ways to thrill seek, in my opinion, because while they climb up there, now again, they're not supposed to be up there. They're not tethered with any kind of safety harness, which means if they trip, something goes wrong, it's over. There's
Oops.
no in between. It's over.
Yeah. Oops.
And I just personally don't see how this is a thrill to me. Me putting my life in jeopardy is not fun. I don't see that. Maybe it's because I'm a little older now, but I just don't understand it. But it looks like what they're trying to do is make an example out of them because their lawyer was saying that this should be held in courts. They shouldn't have been arrested. But the other thing that's important, I think, what they're trying to do, and this is just my opinion, is I think that they're trying to make an example out of them and deter other people from doing it as well.
You got that right because we are open right now. We are vulnerable, and there are so many test runs. Was that a test run? We don't really know what that was, And in this season that we're in of unbelief or disbelief, after we keep seeing things happen, so many different things are happening, and we're just in disbelief. We're like caught with the deer in the headlight. There are so many different firsts. There's so many different things that are happening, and we don't know what's false and what's not false. The fact that they're from Russia with love, you know, and you do something like that. Who was this really for? Who was this really for? I mean, behind the scenes, a lot of talk is going on. What was that really all about? You say that it was about love, and they were already married. They reported on the news this couple was already married. So right there is the check mark. Why have you been down and proposed? You're already
Well,
married.
well, they're known to do all kinds of crazy stuff like this. This isn't the first time they've done something like this. Now, when I was young, me and my childhood friend, we used to climb up on top of my house and jump off the roof. Now, we had a lot of fun doing it. Looking back as an adult, you kind of wonder, wow, what the hell were we thinking?
We're doing, yeah.
Crazy stuff. Never in our wildest dreams did we think of, hey, let's go climb one of the tallest buildings in the city and go up top and put a flag out there. That never crossed our mind.
No, it takes all kind of people to make a world, that's been said too. But again, when there's so much doubt and so uncertainty, the waters are murky. Man, people, you can believe what you want to believe in this day, man, or it's hard to believe when wow.
But in a crazy way, this kind of takes us away from all the other nonsense that we have to deal with, and it gives us something else to talk about because it is kind of crazy. It to me is kind of funny because it's something I would never do. But some people, for whatever reason, it's almost like when you get on roller coasters now. Like me, I would never get on a roller coaster anymore because roller coasters used to be fun. It went up a few stories. You had a
Because you
good
ain't know
time.
no better.
But now roller coasters, they want to make them as high as the tallest building. They want to go so fast, a steep dip. And it's like, okay, me feeling like I'm going to die is not fun. That doesn't sound fun
You
to me,
got that
okay?
right.
Call me old, I don't care, but that
I
doesn't
could
sound
find
fun
some
to
other
me.
way to be thrilled, For real. Yeah, and I mentioned that we were thinking about going to what's it, Great America? I haven't
Oh,
been there
okay.
since to take my grandson, but I don't know about getting on roller coasters and stuff like that. But yeah, you're real right. But like I said, it takes all kind of people. And then it's people style. You see all the memes they made with
Mm-hmm.
Trump on the tower. They had Obama on the tower.
Yeah.
So they had all kind of people, with the AI type stuff, uh, on top of that tower. So yeah, it was really crazy. It was very unsafe for the people that had to rescue them. They had one today. Somebody else climbed up there today, and the same rescuers. Somebody, I think he had just trained, and he was on a bridge in New York. I think it was in New
Hmm.
York. It was somebody on the bridge about to jump off.
Let me ask you this, Wonder. Do you think that this couple should be put in jail or just fined?
That depends on what they find, because I'm telling you, they're from Russia. I mean, that depends on what they find. Uh, I think they definitely need to be made an example of. Jail time. I don't necessarily think jail time, but definitely they need don't need a slap on the wrist because they're gonna do it again. So I don't know. It's not my call.
Yeah, I think personally that they may they
They
may
risk those people's lives to save them.
yeah, they may pause for a minute, but I doubt very seriously going to start. And the reason why I say that is because they've been doing it for so long prior to this. So, and this may slow them down, but they don't strike me as the type that's going to stop.
Wow. Well, like I say, who really knows the real reason why they did that? Because the thing about it, they hid inside the building overnight.
Good.
So anyway.
Well, Wander, since you brought up AI, what's the next topic?
Oh my goodness. Here we go again with another topic where people have their own opinion, right? AI leaders are suddenly changing their tunes on jobs. The biggest name in AI are walking back their dire warnings about what the technology will do to the job market. But it is because they now better understand the ramifications of worldwide or widespread AI adoption, or because they don't want to scare off potential customers. They have noticed that the labor market is genuinely not changing or imploding as rapidly as they expected. Ding, 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 ding. We talked about this the turn of the century, from the horses to the cars
Mhm.
to evolution. It's part of AI is not going to take the job of a lot of people. They're
Mhm.
just not. There are certain jobs that AI can't do. You need humans to do them.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of companies feel that, hey, now this AI is out, we can replace a lot of people because we've seen a lot of layoffs happen.
Yeah.
And I'm really not totally surprised that there are some companies rehiring these people back because AI is a great tool, but it's not a replacement for a human being.
It's not.
There's certain things that we even talked about this. You know, if you were to put together a script and you put in certain things like make it about a shark, a great white shark, attacking people at the beach, so on and so on. It may turn around and spit out a script of Jaws. Well, guess what? You can't use that script because you're going to get sued. Okay. So you still need
Okay.
a human being to go through and go, oh, God, we can't use this and change this and maybe even throw it out altogether. And that's a great example of showing that it's a great tool, but in my personal opinion, it's not a replacement. Now, will that be the same 5 or 10 years from now? We don't know that. But as of right now, it is a tool.
And
And
and,
I
and
think
the,
a lot of these
go ahead.
companies are finding it out the hard way.
And I just say it just goes back to how the person or a person is utilizing technology. Because for me, I was spending money. I was frustrated getting certain jobs done because I couldn't do certain things, and I would pay people, and it would take them weeks to come back. It was just it was frustrating. I'm a very impatient person. I am impatient. And so for me, the tool of using AI, it is fantastic because I can get things done. I can save a lot of money, and Lord knows the frustration. So it works for me. And I can create scenarios with what I'm doing with the nonprofit, what we're doing with teaching technology to the youth, going out working with other people. It's enhancing.
Mhm.
And I need other people to maybe as crew members to come on and go with us to do these things, right? So
True.
fear is false evidence appearing real. And people, now there are some people that can do these jobs and whatever, and perhaps they can't do it, but you can just enhance what you're doing. I'm not afraid. McDonald's is not scared of Wendy's. I keep saying that.
That is true. Now, are you surprised now that some companies are rehiring these employees that they laid off that they thought they were going to replace with AI?
No, that's buyer's remorse. Again, but again, it's about being humble enough because some people are like, well, you fired me, I'm not coming back to you, or whatever. But I'm glad you need me. They should be grateful that this company felt that, like they needed them. You know, so no, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. My thing is again, people, we higher learning, man. Don't be afraid to expand your horizons. That's
That
all I
is
can
true.
say. Yeah. So no, I am not shocked. I am not shocked. Just like I think going back to even some things that happened with Elon Musk when he got rid of a lot of people, they're slowly hiring those people back when he did all those cuts and stuff like that. So yeah, they're finally coming back. So it's about us keeping our minds focused, man. It's about coming together because right is right, and not about Democrat, not about Republican, independent, not about white, black. It's about us coming together as a diverse group of human beings, seeing how we can, be our brothers and sisters keepers. That's what I'm about, and not be afraid, man. I think the only people that want you to be afraid are the people that's greedy. It's the greed,
That's true.
in my opinion.
That is definitely true.
Yes.
I personally am a little bit surprised because you
Oh.
would think that they would do the research before, just blanket laying off a bunch of people. It almost reminds you of Doge when Elon Musk had Doge,
Yeah.
and they literally were firing departments in the government and had no idea what the departments
Yeah.
did. So then they had to kind of go back with their tail between their legs and go, "Oh, we need to bring all these people back." How do
Yeah.
you fire people and not know what they do?
Well, that's when you again you're being led, the blind leading the blind, and that's all that was about. The blind was leading the blind, and now again because America is so great, man, we have so many laws and the institutions that were laid out. It's not going to change overnight, even though it appeared that we were dealing with 2.0 now. Some stuff was already laid out in the first situation, first term, and so now that's why it seems to be going so fast. But the people, just like in Maine, it's going to be the people says not so fast, not so fast, and unfortunately, it's probably going to get ugly before it gets better. Because
That is
think
true.
about it, what's going on now, all the stuff and the alleged stuff that's going on. Oh my God, they're not going to want to give that up too easily. So that means there are going to be some sacrificial lambs, some sacrifice, and we, and if there was ever a time that the American people need to come together, it is now. It is now.
That is true. That is definitely true.
Yeah.
Well, our last topic, we're going to end on a happy note. I know there's been a lot of gloom and doom today, but
Yeah.
we're going to talk about what everybody's talking about. And that's Taylor Swift. Okay. Congratulations to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey on their marriage. Hopefully they
Yay.
have beautiful time, a beautiful life, and they get everything that their hearts desire. But we want to talk about this new trend. So Taylor Swift fans are wearing their wedding dresses until Taylor shows them hers. And no, this is not a misprint, but Taylor Swift fans and radio hosts such as Anna Zabatsky in Connecticut are wearing their wedding dresses in playful protest, waiting for Taylor to release a photo of her custom Christian Dior gown from her July 3rd wedding to Travis Kelsey. I've seen this on social media. It's kind of funny and kind of crazy at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, if she so shows it, great. She may not want to because that is kind of intimate, kind of private, or whatever. What do you think about this trend?
Well, crazy is what crazy does, right? They're gonna be some funky dresses, man. Because if they're gonna wear them till she shows them, they are not gonna be smelling good. Because you're not gonna take it off. You're gonna wear it, wear it, wear it. So, and I guess in the fun part of it, it just shows you how deep is your love. It shows how deep their love is for Taylor Swift, and their admiration for her. But on the same token, enough is enough. Okay, they did the wedding, and I know the New Yorkers are glad that they can travel better because you should have seen the interviews of the people couldn't get here, couldn't get there because of all of the barriers that were put up. So no, so I mean, if you're a fan, you're a fan. You're a diehard fan. Is what they call them, diehard fans, right? I like her. I'm not, I wouldn't go that far. I don't think of anybody but God, and even with him, with God, he doesn't want us to be fanatics. But yeah, so I think it's a little bit over the top to wear a dress, and everybody wants that 5 minutes of fame too.
It's
So
true. So,
yeah, they
wonder
go
you
for
would
that.
wear your wedding dress until Taylor shows you hers?
Is there a hell no button? No, no. I like her. I don't dislike her. So no, no, no. Like I said, how deep is your love? They're fans, and so if that's what the fans do, uh, the crazed fans, as they want to call them themselves, whatever they. And I guess she's probably sitting back being admired because I said flattery. What's that? I don't want to mess up saying up. Flattery is the best. No, imitation is the best form of flattery.
Yes, that is
Imitation.
true. Yep,
So, yeah.
that's true.
So, and she's a mega star. So, yeah, give it to her. Give it to her. Swifties,
I
hang on
mean,
in there, Swifties.
there've been
So,
a handful of pictures or whatever that slipped out, but for the most part, it's pretty impressive that everything was pretty much kept under wraps. I'm actually impressed with the amount of people that came, but really nothing has leaked out.
and you know what? Even if it wasn't a Taylor Swift or somebody famous, I think that's so wrong for people to go to a wedding, anybody's wedding, and you post up pictures before the bride and groom could post the pictures up. And I've
Hmm.
heard it say to the people, please do not post pictures up or whatever. So I think that's kind of distasteful for somebody to go to a wedding and they post up somebody's wedding pictures, before they can, do their own thing. So that's regular people's weddings,
Hmm.
you know.
That's true. I mean, went to my cousin's wedding last year, and one of the things that I mean, announcement, they asked people, please do not take pictures or whatever during the actual ceremony because they did not want the pictures to go out prior to the couple putting official pictures out. And because I don't go to a lot of weddings, I was like, wow, this is surprising. But I was actually told by some people that this has been a big problem. I said,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
really? Big time. Where literally someone's getting married and it's already on social media literally before they say I do. So I was like, wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, according to Taylor Swift, I think they had everybody, they couldn't even bring in a phone unless somebody had like a duplicate or something like that. But again, if you were privileged to actually be at that wedding, you wouldn't want to do anything to mess that up and get kicked out of that because they had it was locked down, it was locked down, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And I think
and
that,
I'm happy for him.
oh, yeah. And I don't think that anyone's going to want to burn bridges with them because if you pull out a camera, there are going to be people around you that see you pull out the camera too. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah, and like I said, you don't want to be the one going out like a chicken wing. It's not going to be pretty. I promise you it won't be pretty. But I'm just glad that they did it. I didn't think it because they definitely had people thinking, are they really there? They had snipers on top of the building and things of
Hmm.
that nature. And I said, what if they really are not there and they're somewhere else? But they saw people
That's true.
going in. But when they saw the people, the guests coming in, I think that was really the hint that they were really there. But yeah, you certainly wouldn't want to have pictures posted up, and of course I haven't seen any. So
Yes. And some people were kind of saying that, the blocking off all the streets, the snipers was an overkill. Actually, it wasn't. When you
no, it
think
wasn't.
about the list of the people that are going in, unfortunately, we're in this day and age where that's a prime target for some
Yes.
bad people. It's a shame that you have to think this way, but yeah, you have to make sure you lock down that area and protect the people coming to the wedding, because these are some of the most powerful people in the world that's coming to the wedding.
Oh yeah.
Not only in entertainment, but also in business. Taylor Swift does know a lot of different people. So does Travis Kelsey. So I don't think it
Yeah.
was over the top, especially because of the big global star that Taylor Swift is.
Hmm.
So that didn't surprise me at all.
Well, and then on top of that, there's a political side to it. So that because she made some comments and stuff like that. So there was a political side to it as well. So you just
Mhm.
never know. It's better safe than sorry. So I'm
That's true.
glad they did it. I'm glad it's you know I'm happy for the newlyweds and even the Swifties. That if that's your thing, chicken wing. You wear that dress. Just put some deodorant on. If you're not gonna take it off. Now, if you're not gonna take it off.
That is true. That is true. That is a great way to end our segment today.
Yes. Yes.
For everyone out there, thank you for watching us. Thank you for always continue to support us.
Yeah.
Please, please let people know who we are. And also on lrodtvnetwork.com, we have new shows coming in pretty soon. Rock is coming on. There's a new show called Lynn Logic is coming on board. And we also have some other ones that are going to be coming on very shortly. So please let people know who we are and where to find us. I'm Lawrence Elrod.
And I'm Wanda P. And you can also follow me on all the social medias as well. Peace.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye. And five, four, three, two, one. All right. Let me go ahead.
Another one, man. We winged it.